listening to Reality Wrap. I'm your host, Melanie. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Jenna, Wesley C said, congrats on your engagement. We're so happy for you. Do you have any wedding plans you can share with us?
Well, maybe I don't need to get married.
Ooh.
Maybe
you already did.
Ooh. I love gossip. We've got tea.
So, did you?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay.
Look, Andy's like, headline.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Reality Wrap. Well, RHONY is back, or should I say the rebooted RHONY is back. For those of you that missed Watch What Happens Live last night, that was a clip of Jenna Lyons playing coy as to whether she did or did not already get married to her girlfriend, fiance, maybe wife now, Cass. I don't know exactly why she just doesn't come out and say, yes, we got married. Instead, she kind of plays like, I don't know, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I'm going to go along with I think she did, because when Jenny McCarthy said congratulations, she said thank you. And after watching last night's episode where we get her girlfriend's mother filming a scene with Jenna in her closet, but we don't actually get to see her girlfriend Cass. I don't know if that's going to be how it is all season, if we're never going to see her. And if that's the case, then I really do feel like maybe Jenna shouldn't be on this show. I'm sure I'm going to receive some hate for saying that, because I know there are some people who think Jenna is the best housewife of all time. I don't personally know why. I don't find her super interesting. She's very nice and she seems cool, and she's obviously, like Miss New York, but it doesn't really seem like she's super invested in actually being on the show and filming her life. On Watch What Happens Live last night, Andy did ask her why she came back, because it did appear that she was not going to come back and film a second season.
Why did you come back?
I mean, last time it was hard. I kind of got taken down, and I wasn't used to that. Right? And then when I heard that Racquel was coming and Rebecca, I felt like, okay, the dynamic will shift. There's another. I was the oldest woman. I was 15 years older than all of those women.
Okay.
And that is a real divide.
Yeah.
And then having another gay lady was also hot.
Racquel's amazing. I have to say, Racquel is really amazing.
She's so hot.
I don't know why she said she felt like she was taken down last season. I don't really feel like there was that much that involved her last season. There was a couple of things, and we also did learn about like all the issues she had growing up with the different skin disorders and her teeth disorders and stuff like that, but I don't feel like anybody took her down. I really feel like the season actually revolved around all the other girls, and she was more of like sideline character. I don't know. I don't know why she said she felt like she was taken down, but she's back. We also have the newbie Racquel, who's joined the cast. I guess she's a friend of Jenna's and actually influenced, as we all heard in the clip from Watch What Happens Live, Jenna actually coming back to the show. We didn't get a ton from her for the first episode, but she does seem pretty cool. She seems like she's more than willing to share what's going on in her life so far. She is engaged to another woman. She calls her Mel, so I don't know if I think her name is Melissa, maybe? I don't know. She calls her Mel. So they seemed pretty cool. And then we also have Rebecca Minkoff, which I had forgotten that she was joining this cast, but I think she's only coming on as a friend of. I do recall back when they announced that she was going to be filming, there was the whole Scientology thing, which does appear that it's going to be brought up on the season. So that'll be interesting to watch. Overall, I'm going to give this episode a C. It is the first episode of the season, so we're kind of starting off where everybody's at. It appears once again that there was some drama that happened off season, just like last season when there was the big fight about the cheese board, but we didn't actually get to see that scene. We just got to hear about it during the season, and that caused like a bunch of fights during the season. It appears that there was a party that Jenna had, and that is where most of the drama that was in this first episode revolved around. And of course, we didn't get to see it. So I'm hoping that this is the only situation that we're going to have that wasn't caught on camera, and that we have to kind of relive it through these women talking about it instead of actually getting to watch the scene. So the episode actually starts 5 days after the filming wrapped on June 24th. We see the ladies are all getting ready to do their photos or whatever at the beginning where they're all holding the apple. Ubah is threatening to quit over having to be around Brynn. So obviously something went down on their last day of filming. My guess is it's that scene where we see Brynn telling Ubah that she's a model for Dress Barn, but we don't see obviously what's leading up to that. That'll probably come out on the very last episode. Then it flashes back to 3 months earlier and we see Brynn is moving into her new apartment in Gramercy Park, which she has decorated in a theme of balls in your face. How appropriate for Brynn. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of sick of her little perverted shtick she's always doing. It's cute a couple of times, but then when you're constantly doing it, it gets old very quickly. Her brother comes to stay with her for a month. He lives in Seoul, and she says she's trying to convince him to move back to New York. My guess is he's come because she doesn't have anybody else to film with, as it sounds like she hasn't seen any of these girls since last season. So maybe she called her brother and asked him to do her a favor and come in and film with her. She tells us that she had him come and stay with her for a month because she needed help moving into her new apartment, but I question that. We see Jessel and Pavitt on the subway, much to Jessel's dismay, which I'm with you, Jessel. I am also not a fan of the subway. There was an episode of Seinfeld a long time ago where Elaine was on the subway and she's packed into a subway car, and in her head, she's screaming, "Ah!" That's me on the subway. They go to Chinatown to a place called Carol's Buns to eat dinner, I guess. And Jessel tells us that Pavitt has become a food influencer. As we all remember last season, he traveled all the way to Vietnam for a sandwich, which caused a big controversy. Last season, everybody thought he was going over there to get some, you know what? Turns out he was just going over there to get a sandwich and just wanted to fly first class, and he had a ticket, so he went. She tells them that they need to figure out what they're going to do with the embryos that they have frozen because they're paying a lot of money to have them stored for some reason in Beverly Hills. I don't know why they wouldn't have them stored in New York, but for some reason they're in Beverly Hills. And he's like, yeah, we're not having any more kids. Although he is okay if they have another Elon Musk. But not a Beyonce, which I can only imagine the backlash that he received for saying that on camera, because the Beehive can be a little crazy. Ubah and Erin meet up for dinner, and apparently they have gotten over all of the drama that happened last season and are now inseparable. And Erin compares them to peanut butter and jelly. Rebecca Minkoff joins them, and Ubah's telling them that she wants to try and have a baby with her new boyfriend. I hope we get to see Ubah with her boyfriend this season, because last season she kept him hidden, which again, super annoying. I don't know why her and Jenna both keep their personal lives private when they are on a reality show. They talk about Brynn having a party that same day later on at 4:00 and that they're all going to go. Rebecca asks who all is going to be there, and seemingly she knows everybody except for Brynn, which seems odd that she would be going since she doesn't know Brynn, but I guess because she's a friend of or a cast member now, that's why she's going. I don't know, but Ubah asks Erin the last time that she saw Brynn, and Erin says, I haven't seen Brynn in a long time. Erin tells us in her talking head that when they're hanging out in just smaller groups, that somehow the stories all change from when they were hanging out in the big group, and that's when trouble starts. Brynn, Jessel, and Jenna all meet up to help Brynn find a kitchen table. For some reason, Jenna announces that she has BO, and Brynn and Jessel take turns smelling it, which was gross. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's weird. Brynn tells them that when Erin was on Jeff Lewis, that she had called Brynn a call girl. And then we actually see a clip of what was said, and neither of them called her a call girl. Jeff asked Erin if she thought that somebody was helping Brynn financially, and Erin actually says, no, I don't think so. And he just says, I do. And she goes, you think that? That was all that was said. So I don't know where she got that they said that she was a call girl, unless there is some sort of a situation that is like that, like she has a sugar daddy. What's that saying? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. I can't imagine that her rent on her new apartment is very cheap because, as we all know, housing in New York is like cuckoo expensive. And it doesn't appear that she has a roommate, so she's footing that bill all by herself. It's still not really clear what she does for a living outside of filming for this. I know she tried to explain it last season because there was some questions about what she actually did for a living, but I still don't know what she does. Back at lunch with Erin and Ubah and Rebecca, this is where they start talking about some party that Jenna had at her house that we didn't get to see on camera. And this is kind of where some of the drama goes down. Apparently at this party, Brynn had gone and told Jenna that Erin had told her a story about how Jenna and Erin were together and Jenna's old car, and apparently it broke down. So Erin offered to get an Uber, and Jenna never paid her back the $250 Uber ride, and that she basically said that Jenna is having money problems and called her poor. Here we go again with somebody calling somebody poor. This is a problem with Mary on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now it's a problem on the Real Housewives of New York. Erin tells us, I didn't actually believe that Jenna had money problems. I just thought it was annoying that I had to pay for the Uber since it was Jenna's car that broke down. The whole thing is kind of dumb. I'm with Jessel. I think Erin was just trying to be funny when she retold the story. Not for a second do I believe that Erin thinks that Jenna is poor. Obviously, Jenna is the wealthiest out of all of them, which is essentially what Erin says. She's like, why would I think Jenna's poor? I just thought it was annoying that she didn't pay me back for this Uber. Why Brynn even bothered to tell Jenna that story and twist it into, oh, she thinks that you're actually poor or having money problems is beyond me. There's no way Brynn actually could think that Erin thinks that. I mean, come on, guys. Brynn is definitely stirring shit up. We finally get to see Sai, and she is meeting up with Jessel to do a cold plunge. The water is 37 degrees. No. Not for me. I know it's supposed to be really good for you. It's not supposed to help you lose weight like Sai said it was, but it is definitely supposed to be good for you to do a cold plunge and then get into the hot sauna. I know people who actually do that and swear by it, but a cold plunge is not for me. I'll take a hot sauna, but not a cold plunge. Sai tells us that after she had washed herself last season, that she realized that she needed to work on her relationship with Jessel. She tells Jessel that she's been on this journey through therapy, which I was 100% expecting after how she came off last season. I did say last season in one of my recaps that I was a little worried that she was going to come back and pretend to be this reformed person and totally change who she was. Even though she did come off as a total asshole last season, I feel like she was super real, and that was actually who she was. So I was a little worried about her coming back and pretending to be like this, new person, kind of like how Teresa was when she came out of jail and she was now Namaste Teresa, which clearly she is not. So I'm hoping that is not how this plays out with Sai this season. I do hope there are elements of real Sai there still, and that maybe she really is working on herself, but I guess time will tell. We find out that Sai and Brynn have also not really talked since last season. Sai tells Jessel that I apologized to her at the reunion last year and she rejected my apology, and I have not heard from her since. Apparently at Jenna's girls' night that was off camera, Jenna came up to Sai and asked her why she was telling everybody that she hates her. Sai is in denial about ever saying that she said she hated Jenna, that she didn't use those words, but she's kind of getting hung up on a word because we do find out later that she said she did not like Jenna. Not that she hated her, she didn't like her. Over at Jenna's house, she is once again purging her closet. We saw this last year as well. I don't know if this is just a flex to show us like all the designer shoes that she has and that she hasn't worn, but I don't know. I'm like, dude, we've already seen you clean out your closet. This was from last year, but I guess she needed to film something, and she needed to film something with her girlfriend Cass's mother because her girlfriend Cass, I guess, won't film. So instead we get her mother. To me, if your girlfriend isn't willing to film a scene with you, then her mother also shouldn't film a scene with you. Her mother is not a replacement for your girlfriend. Either have Cass come on with her mom and film a scene, or neither of them. I don't think it made very much sense that we saw a scene with Cass's mother, but we have yet to see a scene with Cass. Maybe that'll change farther down the line, but I'm kind of thinking that is not going to be the case, and we are not going to see her film this season. We get to meet the newbie Racquel, who has been friends with Jenna for quite a while. They happened to meet when both of them were going through a divorce and were actually coming out and bonded over that and have been friends ever since. Erin and Abe take the kids out for ice cream, and we find out that they have moved into a new place that is closer to their kids' school. One of their little kids is like, oh, I don't really like it. It's smaller than our old place. And you know that Erin was just like, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that on camera. Of course, Erin has to tell us that it's really not that much smaller than their old place, and that their old place just seemed bigger because it was 2 stories instead of 1, and that it's actually almost the same size. God forbid the audience might think that she downgraded in some way. We find out that her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that initially they thought that she was just going to have surgery, but then after the surgery, they realized that the cancer is more aggressive, so they started giving her chemo. Hopefully she pulls through okay, especially since yesterday, Erin announced on her Instagram that her dad passed away, and we know how close she was with him, which is so sad. So God forbid she lose her mom as well. She did post back in August her mom ringing the bell, so her mom is through all the chemo treatment. So let's just send her some good healing vibes that she beat it and it doesn't come back and she can go on and live a great long life. We get this weird interaction between Abe and Erin. They're talking about buying this townhouse that needs to be gutted. And he's like, are you sure you want to go through all this? It's going to be a lot of work. And she's like, oh my God, you should see it. There is this mural on the ceiling that has cherubs. And Abe makes a joke, oh, we can take some mushrooms and look at it while we're tripping. This pisses Erin off for some reason, even though we saw her talk about tripping on mushrooms last year when she was showing the ladies around her Hampton home. Abe tells us that there's more to her being mad at him. There's more underlying, and it's really not about the mushroom joke that he made. And Erin tells us that she is not going there. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I hope everything's okay because they do have little kids, but I'm guessing we'll find out more as the season goes on. It's now time for Brynn's party. We see everybody getting ready. We're over at Racquel's house and we get to meet her fiance Mel. Apparently they like to ride motorcycles, but Racquel is no longer allowed to drive hers because she dropped hers when she was turning a corner. Oh my God, could you imagine? I won't even get on a motorcycle. I did back when I was in college. I had a friend who had a Harley and I did go riding with him. I'm not gonna lie, I do not like riding on motorcycles. It's not necessarily being on the motorcycle that I don't like, but I do not like all the cars around me. And now people are so distracted when they're driving and on their phones. If you get bumped or hit by a car on a motorcycle, your chances of walking away from that unharmed are pretty slim. Everybody starts to arrive at Brynn's party. Everybody looks amazing, but I have to ask what Jenna was wearing. She had on like this weird puffy pink dress that she called a vagina, and then it had like this red ribbon on it. And I'm sure it was expensive, but I definitely was not a fan. Not in a million years could I have worn that. I'm too short. You clearly needed to be tall to wear that. But at the same time, even on a tall person, I wasn't crazy about it. Erin tells us that she is apprehensive about seeing Brynn because of how she had twisted the Uber story that Erin had told her into her saying that Jenna was having money issues. Jessel goes up to Brynn and asks Brynn if she received a text from Erin last night. She's like, no, why? And Jessel tells her that she received a text from Erin that just said, I'm disappointed. She isn't really sure why Erin sent the text, but she thinks it has something to do with the conversation from the furniture store where they were talking about how Brynn said that Erin said that Jenna was having problems with money because she didn't pay for the Uber. The whole thing is like a massive game of telephone. We then see Sai ask Jenna about who told her that she said that she hated her. We find out it was Brynn. Surprise, surprise. I think Sai knew that the whole time. And Sai repeats, I never said that. And Erin quietly tells her, I went through my chats and you did say that you didn't like Jenna. But Erin does say that she feels like Brynn is going out of her way to interfere with the different friendships that are happening within the group. It does seem like Brynn has some sort of a problem keeping things that other people have told her to herself. We saw it on the last season at the very end when she repeats that Ubah has a secret boyfriend and Sai had told her that in confidence. Sai does apologize to Jenna and says, when I said that, I didn't really know you and I judged you before I actually got to know you and I really do like you now. So Sai does seemingly accept responsibility for saying what she said about Jenna. I mean, she did deny it at first, but in the end, she did apologize. So I guess that's better than nothing, right? Erin asks Jessel why she's being so mean to her. Jessel says, let's talk about that text you sent me. Erin tells her that Jenna had actually called her to tell her that this was brought up on camera and that she was not the one that brought it up first. Brynn was the one that brought it up first. Honestly, this whole thing is so dumb. Nobody actually thinks that Jenna's having money problems. Again, she is the richest one there. Brynn walks over during this conversation and Erin gets up and tells Brynn that she actually has integrity and that Brynn does not.
For me, I have integrity and I'm a mother of 3 children and it actually really hurts me that this is like, I don't lie, I don't make up. I was telling a funny story. It just,
Excuse me?
that's what I said. I'm not doing it. You can continue.
What are you doing?
Go perpetuate some other story. I'm not interested.
What are you talking about?
I'm not. I actually care about people.
What are you talking about?
I have integrity and I told the truth and you don't do that. And Jessel just confirmed it.
First of all, chill, bro. Like, chill. You're going? Okay.
I get hurt because I actually cared about you.
You're the
like a
victim
bad
right now?
friend.
You're hurt? You don't have integrity. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm a bad friend. Stop. You're saying stuff that's not true about me and my character. Like, that has to stop.
Everything that I've said has been true.
You told Jeff Lewis I sleep with men. You
I never told
that I sleep with men for money.
Are you nuts?
You laughed and said, I don't know. I don't know. Like, maybe. You did a horrible, horrible up thing.
Anyone can watch it and they can make their own judgment.
So once again, Brynn accuses Erin of saying that she sleeps with men for money on the Jeff Lewis show, which did not happen. We saw the clip. Sai tells her that didn't happen. There is something really wrong with Brynn. Brynn made the night over at Jenna's weird. Brynn tells her, I didn't make it weird. There was tension there because you told Jessel, fuck you, Jessel, and your Dory from Finding Nemo husband. And then they flash to Pavitt, and he's got this goofy look on his face, and he did kind of look like Dory from Finding Nemo. Sai gets pissed and says, Jessel and I have made up from that night, and Brynn is just trying to deflect what she said. Sai tells Brynn that she's not right in the head and that she is purposely going out of her way to make problems between everybody. And she gets up and she leaves and she goes and sits by the newbies, who are sitting there like, what the hell is going on? They're over there having a nice conversation about how they met their partners, and everybody else is yelling at each other. My guess is they were sitting there thinking, what did we just sign up for? I think Brynn at this point realizes that she has caused a huge shitstorm. So she goes and she finds her brother and tells him that they need to go. And at this point, she's crying and she's telling him, I'm not causing problems in the group because all I do is giggle and laugh all day. I kind of have to think that there might be something a little off with Brynn, or she is super manipulative, because saying that she giggles and laughs all day like she's some little schoolgirl instead of a 38-year-old woman is kind of weird. Ubah shows up right at the end of the episode. I don't know where she was all night. We don't get to hear where she was. She must have had something else going on. And she asks, I don't know who she asked. She asked somebody where Brynn was, and they were like, oh, she left. And she's like, her own party? And that's how the episode ends. It wasn't the most exciting episode, especially because they were fighting about stuff that didn't happen on camera. And the first episode of the season usually isn't that exciting. Everybody everybody is kind of getting back into the groove of filming together, and we have to kind of catch up where everybody's been for the last couple of months. So hopefully going forward, it gets a little bit more exciting. It does actually look in the clips coming up that it's going to be a really good season. So I'm hoping that will be the case. All right, guys, that is all I have for The Real Housewives of New York today. I will be back this week with my recap of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I will talk to you then. Bye.